You guys love watching our Dallas Cowboys YouTube videos? You've come to the right spot. Hit that sub button. Whatever you're doing right now, and even if it's just active listening, watching, hit that sub button for more free Cowboys videos all season long, especially with the NFL trade deadline 1 week away. It is trade focused on today's show. Let's hit Chase Young, because I know you guys are going to ask about him. ESPN Sunday morning reported that the Commanders will likely at least listen to offers for Chase Young, which does not necessarily mean they'll trade him, but the Commanders are in kind of a weird spot here. They got the Eagles this upcoming Sunday. Who thinks they're going to win? I don't think so. So they will be 3-5 at that point. And Chase Young might not be long for the organization, with Montez Sweat also due for a new big deal, and they got to balance that out there. And from a pure organizational standpoint, it could make some sense to trade away Chase Young when he's having a bounce-back season, looks much more like the guy we saw as a rookie, the guy we saw at Ohio State after missing a ton of time with injuries the past couple seasons. The contract's not that bad. You should be able to get at minimum a fourth for a rental, if not a little bit more for Chase Young. But if the Commanders trade a guy like Chase Young and or others, you know what happens, right? Ron Rivera gets fired. And given his sway in the organization for now, that might not be something he really wants to do. There's also the argument of, do the Cowboys need an edge rusher? They played Mike a little bit more at off-ball linebacker. I think it's clear organizationally they want him playing defensive end. I think as they should. Tank Lawrence remains awesome. Dorrance Armstrong is playing pretty well, better against the run this season. Now, Sam Williams is a non-factor at the moment, which is a bit of a red flag. But I don't know if the Cowboys want a pass rusher. I don't know if that's a path they want to pursue at the moment, given what they've invested in and have on the roster. You could make a very strong, we will in a minute, by the way, as well, that maybe adding a linebacker makes more sense for this football team. That focusing on that position where you're thin and you don't have depth makes a ton of sense. And to tack on this too, would the Commanders trade Chase Young to a division rival? Unless they're blowing it away trade offer-wise, there might be an NFC East tax involved on that one, because you don't see that many division rival trades happen unless the one team thinks the player they're trading away is cooked, like the Donovan McNabb deal all those years ago. So prediction time, the pinned comment on today's video. Will the Cowboys make a trade at or before the 2023 NFL trade deadline? If the ad comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Pro Football Focus has suggested a Jordan Hicks trade. Got my outlets mixed up from the first one there. I actually think this makes a lot of sense for all parties involved. I will make note we're filming this before the Vikings play the Niners on Monday Night Football, so do keep that in mind. The Cowboys have a need for an off-ball linebacker. Jordan Hicks has played really well so far this year. In fact, I think he's having one of his better seasons in the past few years, even though he's never been a bad football player either. He's due a total of $3.5 million this year, so the prorated figure is like 1.4 or something, 1.7, something like that. It's very affordable for Hicks and for the Cowboys if they chose to trade him. The PFF trade idea is this: Jordan Hicks and a future 7th in exchange for a future 5th in 2025. That's very cheap. For a rental linebacker, I actually like this idea. I think it fits a couple of your boxes, right? You're filling a need. I trust Dan Quinn to make Jordan Hicks play well more than I would trust McCarthy to help out in an offensive piece. It's not that expensive contract or trade-wise, and it helps you in the short term and does not block a guy like DeMarvion Overshown from being a piece for you down the road. The Cowboys are thin at linebacker right now. There's Damone Clark. Marquise Bell was kind of a safety, really, playing linebacker. Adam, he's a good coverage player. Tyrus Sweet is not that good. Kind of surprised he was a game day call up there. We'll see if and when Van Der Esch comes back this year. There's Rashawn Evans, practice squad, etc. But Jordan Hicks through 6 games, so again, before Monday Night Football, 53 tackles this year. He's got a tackle for loss, 2 pass breakups, consistently around the football, has a fumble recovery as well. I have been very impressed by him. Short-term, affordable, not that expensive option. if you want a realistic name, I do think that Jordan Hicks is a very viable one for Dallas. So name a player, somewhat realistic, who you would like to see the Dallas Cowboys go out and trade for. Sound off for me in the comment section right now. While you're down there, click the link for prizepicks.com/CLNS. Today's show is made possible by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It is just you against the numbers. You are not battling thousands of other players, the pros and the sharks. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. I'm on a run right now of getting 2 out of 3 right in all the different prize picks I do, so I'm doing the flex play. It's a great success. Tyreek Hill touchdown. Check it. Lamar Jackson passing yards against the Lions. Check it. Hit that in the first half, by the way. And my process was good on Michael Pittman. He caught 2 passes all game. Just one of them, because of some missed tackles, went for 75 yards. So I went with the flex play. I just needed to get 2 out of 3 right, and it ended up hitting. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's video. Again, it's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Let's talk Terrace Marshall. The Panthers are allowing Marshall to try to find a trade partner. The former second-round pick out of LSU has not been very good in Dallas. It's been in Carolina. It's been a bit of a mess and a massive disappointment from him as of late. Now, Marshall's both cheap in terms of the contract and the trade cost. It would not acquire very much to get him onto your roster, because I think it'd be the classic, day 3 pick swap. The issue is he's not very good. He's not. It's like I think Tolbert's better. I think Kevontae Turpin is a better player at this stage. The numbers for Terrace Marshall in his career: 61 catches, 742 yards. That's 12.2 yards per catch and 1 touchdown. Look, quarterback play's not been great in Carolina. Not like the receiver play is very good either. I don't think there will be much, if any, interest in Terrace Marshall. Maybe the draft pick pedigree gets that classic trade that's been going on all year long across the NFL. It's the future day 3, end of the 7th round pick swap. I think that's what you would probably have to give to get Terrace Marshall. 2025 6th for Marshall and a 2025 7th. Your biggest issue here, frankly, is that if you were to trade him away, you would have to cut somebody. And I think Marshall would probably rather keep Jalen Brooks, frankly. So it's not the cost, it's that he's just not that good. Coming up next, could you trade Michael Gallup for a corner? This is certainly not a unique idea to FanSided, but we'll stay in Carolina for this one. Here was the FanSided trade idea. The Cowboys get Donte Jackson and a 4th-round pick in exchange for Michael Gallup and a future 4th-round pick. So what this means is Michael Gallup has better trade value because it's a 4th-round pick this year for a future 4th. Would you? I got thoughts on this, but would you do that trade? Swap force a future 1 for Gallup and Jackson. Would you do it? Y for yes, N for no. I want you guys to sound off for me in the comment section right now. I think that overrates Gallup. I think this is kind of a trend I've noticed a lot in Cowboys fandom and media as well. Trade Gallup away. Does he have value? Like, we're all talking about oh yeah, we have no issues trading away that player. Doesn't that raise some red flags? He has not been the same guy in a long time. His numbers have gone down each year. Now, they've been better this season, but I mean, the success rate going at Gallup is substantially lower than everybody else's at this stage. And that should be red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. It's not a good thing. It's really, really not. I don't think there's much interest in Michael Gallup from a value perspective. Now, Donte Jackson is in the midst of a down year as well. That entire defense is bad in Carolina. might get more of a pass. I think if you were to able to flip Jackson and Gallup, I think you would have to send something more to Carolina. I think Jackson carries more value than the third best receiver for the Cowboys who got paid and has not been the same since. I don't think that guy carries value. Yeah, they'd probably both be viewed as rentals, but I don't think that's a good trade for Carolina, so I'm not going to get my hopes up for the Cowboys angle.